Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay from the Fairy Congress, and I'm here today with Aislinn Kerchaert, who's coming to the Fairy Congress for the first time this year, and we are so excited. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey? We know you work with the kontomble, which we're very excited to make this connection, and I've been feeling all of our allies. I always feel them sort of in the stream above and behind me, and they're all just so excited to make this new connection. So maybe can you just start by telling us your origin story, so to speak, and how you came to connect with them?
Of course, yes. Thank you, Lindsay. I'm really honored to be making this connection. I can feel our allies too, kind of partying in the other world, getting ready for this very Congress. And the kontomble, I guess I should start out by saying that the kontomble come from a lineage that streams from West Africa, from the Dagara tribe in West Africa. And the kontomble are the little people of this region. And so as the facilitator and grand conductress of the Fairy Congress, you know about the little people of many different nations. Well, the kontomble come from this particular tribe in West Africa. And so my journey of meeting them was kind of like a wayward path of the shamaness. I started off as an actress in Chicago and loved theater and loved devising ritual type theater in the name of the goddess, in honor of the divine feminine. But I always felt that there was something missing from my path. And as an actress, the end goal is like what, Hollywood and fame, and that wasn't me. So there was something else calling me forward, and I didn't know what it was. And I had my sort of dark night of the soul, journeying through the falls, and I ended up moving from Chicago to where I was a young working actress, to New Orleans. And in that move, my whole world opened up, like my world of perception, what reality was, the veils came crashing down, and I met a series of teachers from different lineage streams, some of them being more modern adaptations on ancient wisdom, and then some more ancient wisdom. I got into Reiki. I got into this thing called Talk to the Entities that comes from Access Consciousness. And then I also met a kontomble voice diviner through some friends that were, one of my friends who was actually my Reiki teacher. And so I went to this house ceremony in New Orleans, and that's where I first met the kontomble. And in this lineage, I guess I should explain what a voice diviner is. There are particular kind of diviners who bring through the actual voices of these beings. So when they divine, you don't see them go behind a curtain, or if it's Zoom, turn off the screen and call these spirits in. And then the kontomble come through the voice, and you'll hear their language. It's like an ancient mother tongue. A lot of people, when they hear the kontomble speak, it activates a bone memory or a memory on the level of DNA. And a lot of people who connect with them will just say like, oh, I feel like I've known them before. So there's this deep, deep sense of reunion when first meeting the kontomble. And that's what I experienced as someone on the side of receiving the divination. I had just waves of grief move through my body when I heard them speak, and when I heard them speak specifically to me. So that began my path of sort of being their student and attending different kontomble ceremonies, learning from them. And it was a few years after that that I felt called and drawn to go to my initiation, my more official initiation with Elder Malidoma Somé, who brought these teachings to the West from Burkina Faso. And that was where I went through my kontomble merger, and I had the more, you could say what Malidoma did was he brought the more traditional initiation to the West to make a version of it that then could be passed on to lineage carriers in the West. And so I went through that process, and that really kind of like sealed the deal of like being on the path as a diviner. And that was in 2019. So since then, I've been co-creating my practice with them and really bringing this work, and also not just work, but this sort of beautiful mission of reconnection to the divine, reconnection to the divine mother, reconnection to our elemental nature and elemental selves, through my practice Sings with Trees, with the guidance of the kontomble, who have been my mentors, my allies, my teachers, and my teammates all along the way.
Wow. And I will say, because I heard you shared a video with me where you are divining, and yeah, it was, I don't want to use it cliche, but it was kind of mind-blowing. I mean, I've heard a lot of things, been around a lot, but I could just feel that energy so strongly. It's really quite incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, and very distinctive too, quite different than anything else I've experienced.
Yeah, you could say it's sort of primal or primordial.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
And I believe it's a language that it activates our innate connection to our ancestors, because I believe that other lineages, this is how the kontomble have shown it to me, that lineages connected to traditions all over the world used to have these intact relationships and used to have their version of the voice diviner. And over time that got buried and that got severed and taken away. And so I wanted to add that piece in, because a big part of my work with the kontomble is about regenerating ancestral connections, ancestral healing, and earth-based ritual, and how that all sort of weaves together to build intact relationships once again.
Yeah, yeah, that's sort of been a repeating theme recently, how I think it's partly because reconnecting with our ancestors, we can heal that lineage, and it helps resolve so much trauma in the modern day. It's like you can't ignore them, because if you just try to deal with the present, then you're missing all of that history and that background. I think that's been my experience anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so can you share just a quick snapshot of what you'll be sharing at the Congress?
Yes. So my workshop is called Connecting with the Kontomble, and it's going to be a beautiful experience where we call in the kontomble in a more gentle way than voice divination. So it will be a process of guided meditation and group invocation, where we're guided to meet the kontomble and perhaps any other nature spirit allies that are of the ilk of the wee folk, or of the ilk of the little people that might be our ancestral connections, like might be more close to the lineages that we stream from. Because the kontomble, I always like to say, are like the MCs at the party. They are the ones who have the mic right now, because this lineage of voice diviners has remained intact through the millennia, but they're also willing to pass the mic. And so sometimes what they can do is help us to recognize that we have maybe leprechauns that have been walking with us for 5 or 10 years, or we have a particular lineage of fae that stream from Glastonbury or England, or the British Isles. So it will be the heart of our intention will be about connecting with the kontomble, yes, but then also branching out from there to really meet the little people through their guidance and their perspective. And there might be some surprises that come with that they might like surprises even to me, because they usually bring the downloads through in the weeks or days before. So I'm seeing some type of elemental ritual or some type of group experience that involves like really forging these connections and honoring these connections in a beautiful way. Maybe something like a group offering or a little elemental ritual.
Oh, sweet. All right. Well, we're very excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah, we look forward to playing with you and deepening this. deepening, yeah, the stream of connection.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us today. So again, our website is ferrycongress.com. The dates are July 20th through 24th, and I'll put Aislinn's website in the description so you can find her as well. And thanks so much. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
All right.